opensound.com.
Irena Sendler was born as Irena Krasnowska on February 15, 1910, in Warsaw, Poland, to Dr. Stanislaw Krasnowska, a physician, and his wife Jana.
So Irena, like most people in Poland, came from a Catholic background, but she grew up in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood in a town outside of Warsaw and had many Jewish friends, not only growing up, but also later in life. Her father, whose name was Stanisław Krzyżanowski, was a doctor, and he treated poor Jewish and peasant families, often free of charge. He taught Irena a very important lesson in her life. The lesson was that if you see a person drowning, you should give them a hand. In this role, she met a lot of people, and she built a very strong professional and personal network. She worked tirelessly across lines of class, religion, and ethnicity.
Sendler studied Polish literature at Warsaw University. She opposed the ghetto bench system that existed at some pre-war Polish universities and defaced her grade card. As a result, her public protest, she was suspended from the University of Warsaw for 3 years.
As early as 1939, when the Germans invaded Warsaw, Irena began helping Jews by offering them food and shelter. When the Warsaw Ghetto was erected in 1940, Irena could no longer help isolated Jews. The ghetto was an area the size of New York's Central Park, and over 450,000 Jewish people were forced into this area. Once the Warsaw Ghetto was formed, she started by saving the orphan children. Irena used her papers as a Polish social worker, and Irena and her helpers made over 3,000 false documents to help Jewish families before she joined the Children's Division. Irena used the old courthouse on the edge of the Warsaw Ghetto as one of the main ways of smuggling children out.
Irena herself would pick up a child personally, and she recalled on several occasions really the traumatic parting between parent and child that she witnessed firsthand.
Let's listen to Irena actually in her own voice, decades later, reflecting on the dangers that she and those who she helped were facing.
Z drugiej strony, kiedy myśmy chodzili do getta z koleżanką zabierać te dzieci, to działy się dantejskie sceny, bo te rodziny jednak matka chciała, a tatuś nie chciał. Babcia chciała oddać dziecko, mamusia nie chciała. Pytano mi, jaka jest gwarancja, jaką ja mogłam dać gwarancję. Ja nie mogłam dać nawet gwarancji, że jak przeprowadzę przez Wachę. Więc ja, idąc do rodziny żydowskiej po dziecko, nie mogłam dać żadnych gwarancji, że to dziecko będzie żyło, prawda?
No, she was determined. She continued to use her knowledge of the welfare system and her access to city resources, whatever was available at that time, to continue her secret activities. On occasion, she would falsely identify a home in the ghetto as being infected with typhus, for example. And the fear of contamination would keep German authorities at bay.
Irena and her co-workers buried lists of hidden children in jars in order to keep track of their original and new identities. The aim was to return the children to their original families if still alive after the war.
Irena was arrested on October 20th, 1943. When arrested, she felt almost liberated. She was placed in the notorious Piłok prison, where she was constantly questioned and tortured.
Irena received a death sentence. She was to be shot. Unbeknown to her, Irena's group had bribed the German executor who helped her escape to let her go. On the following day, the Germans loudly proclaimed her execution. Posters were put up all the city with the news that she was shot. Irena read the posters herself.
During the remaining years of the war, she lived hidden, just like the children she rescued. Irena was the only one who knew where the children were to be found. When the war was finally over, she began the job of finding the children and trying to find the living parents.